You can bring in the jurors.
Yes, sir. Right here.
Everyone can be seated. Ms. Kappelman, you may resume with your examination of the witness.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Adelson, I want to ask you a little bit about your brother, Charlie Adelson. How is he older or younger than you?
I'm the youngest of the three children, so both my brothers are older than me.
How much older than you is Charlie?
He's 2.5 years older.
And in the time frame 2013 to 2014, how much time were you spending with Charlie Adelson?
I don't remember spending a lot of time with him. I was in Tallahassee most of the time, and he was in South Florida most of the time.
Did you speak with Charlie regularly during that time?
We did.
What type of lifestyle did your brother have around the time frame 2014 to 2016?
My brother was a single guy. He was dating lots of people. He worked really hard till early in the morning till late at night, sometimes 6 or 7 days a week.
Worked hard, played hard?
Yeah, I think that was kind of his lifestyle.
Did he like nice things? Fancy
He did.
Cars?
He liked nice cars. He liked nice food.
Okay. Did you, during the phone conversations you had with your brother during that time, did you talk much about your marital problems?
I mean, to be honest, I don't remember, but I'm sure we talked about it.
Is it fair to say during the year or so leading up to Mr. Markel's murder that your brother did not like him?
I think that's fair to say.
Did your brother joke about hiring a hitman to kill Dan Markel?
He did make that joke.
What was the joke specifically?
My brother had bought me a TV as a divorce present, and he would make the joke that the TV was cheaper than hiring a hitman.
Did you ever tell Jeffrey Lacasse about that joke?
I may have mentioned that joke to Jeff Lacasse.
Who is that?
Jeff Lacasse was someone that I dated after Danny and I got divorced.
Had he met your parents?
I think he may have met them once, but not in any kind of formal way. Just my parents were visiting and he might have said hi, something like that.
Did your parents express any opinion about him, whether they liked him or not?
I don't remember them really taking notice of him.
Do you remember sending a text back in May 28th of 2014 that saying, quote, "My parents are not into him," referring to Jeff?
I don't remember sending that text.
On the morning of the murder, did you have an appointment at your residence on Aqua Ridge?
I did.
What was the nature of that appointment?
I had an appointment with the Geek Squad. There were some vertical lines on the TV. I didn't know if maybe one of my kids had tapped it or touched it, but it wasn't working. And so I had an appointment, and they were scheduled to come sometime between 8 and 12.
And was that the TV that was the same TV that your brother joked he got you as a divorce present because
It was.
cheaper than hiring a hitman.
Yes.
Okay. And on the morning of the murder, did your mom text you about the TV repair guy being on the way or coming to your house?
She did. I didn't buy the TV, and the TV had an insurance policy that came with the Geek Squad help. So I think they reached out to her first, and then she let me know that they were coming.
The TV was under warranty, right?
I believe so.
But the damage that you had was not covered by the warranty, was it?
I don't think so.
Okay, and do you recall how long the TV repairman was at your house?
I don't. It was a reasonable amount of time, so maybe an hour or so.
And why did it take an hour to determine that the TV couldn't be repaired or was not under warranty?
I don't know. I don't know a lot about AV equipment.
And the TV repair guy, well, I guess I should ask, were you upset, crying and upset during the time that the TV repairman was there?
I don't think so.
Were you particularly upset about the TV, the fact that the TV couldn't be repaired?
I don't think so.
Okay, so the TV guy, to your recollection, didn't actually do anything. He didn't fix the TV, didn't take it away, he didn't bring you a new one.
No. He was trying to fix it. I mean, I think he was trying to assess what the problem was and if it could be fixed, but it wasn't taken away.
The problem was like an impact to the screen, right?
It seemed to be that, yeah.
Okay. Did you go to a dinner after the murder of Dan Markell in which you vomited at the table?
It was several weeks until I felt ready to leave my apartment. I was very, very scared.
So that happen?
It did happen.
Okay, and that was in a restaurant, right?
Mm-hmm. It was at a restaurant.
Who was present at that dinner?
It was my brother and me.
And where was the dinner?
It was
Florida or here?
It was South Florida.
Okay, and you said it was several weeks after the murder?
I believe so.
Had you ever heard Charlie, your brother, refer to that dinner as a celebratory dinner?
Only in previous trials, but never to me personally.
Did you hear him say it the night that you had the dinner or after that?
No.
That you threw up at the celebration?
No.
Do you know Catherine Magbanoa?
I met her on 2 occasions.
Okay. Do you have an independent friendship with her, or did you just meet her through your brother?
I just met her through my brother.
Who was she to Charlie?
She was a person that he had dated.
Was she a serious girlfriend?
I didn't think so.
Okay. Did he have a lot of girlfriends that kind of came and went?
He had a lot of girlfriends, and they all looked somewhat similar.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's... One moment, Your Honors. Show you what I marked as 35. States 35?
I do.
How do you recognize it?
This was a visit. I went to the beach with Catherine and a friend of hers for about an hour.
Catherine Magbanoa?
Yes.
All right, and when was this photograph taken?
It was Father's Day weekend of June 2014.
So just about a month before the murder?
Yes.
And was this the first time you'd ever met Catherine Magbanoa?
It was the second time. The first time was at a dinner with my brother and with Jeff Lacasse when I was running an alternative spring break. I came down to visit.
Is that the dinner at Yardbird?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get back to that. So this was the second meeting?
Yes.
All right, Judge, move to introduce State's Exhibit 35.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 35 is admitted.
Publishing States 35. Which one is Catherine Magbanoa?
She's on the left with the white top.
Okay. Okay, and that's you in the center there?
That's me in the middle.
And this photograph, was it taken near your parents' residence in
It
South
was.
Beach?
Very close.
During that trip, were there any conversations with Catherine Magbanua or your brother or your mother about the murder?
No.
Is Catherine Magbanua the girlfriend that your brother had in this time frame leading up to the murder?
I believe so, but he had multiple girlfriends, so I don't know if she was the only one.
Okay, but that's definitely the one that you interacted with the month before.
Yes, ma'am.
Did anything stand out to you about this particular girl as being, you know, the one or special or different from the parade of girlfriends that
No.
Charlie had? Did your brother have girlfriends after this woman, Magbanua?
Yes.
Okay, including, do you remember a Whitney?
I do remember Whitney.
And then there was June Mchinda,
Yes, I remember June.
a June Co, I think.
I remember Junko.
Okay. Prior to Dan Markell's murder, was this image taken at your trip to South Beach that was most recent before the murder?
No,
So you went down another time between this trip and the murder.
I did. I went down for my dad's birthday.
And when was that?
It would have been, his birthday was on July 5th. And so I was down, I don't remember the exact amount of time, but maybe 7 or 10 days over July 4th and for his birthday, and then went back to Tallahassee.
Did you run into Catherine Magbanua at all on that trip?
I don't think so.
Any discussion with any members of your family about the murder on that trip?
No,
It was your dad's 70th birthday, right?
it was.
And was there a party?
We had a party.
Okay. Was that friends, family, both?
It was friends and family.
And I think, is this the trip that we were talking about earlier where your parents had come to Tallahassee to fetch you and take you down south?
Yes.
Was there any discussion on that trip about any other relocation strategies?
I don't have any memory of that.
Like bribing, converting to Christianity, any of those things,
It had been, I think, about a year since.
since those were first broached?
Right, but I'm just saying by that time it was the summer of 2014. I don't remember any kind of conversation like that.
Okay. Was there any discussion on that trip of the pending motion that included precluding your mom from having unsupervised visits with your boys?
No.
Do you remember the time frame that the repairman was at your house on the morning of the murder?
I remember more or less. I feel like he came, I think he was supposed to come sometime between 8 and 12, and he came on the early side. Because I just remember being surprised and trying to get dressed really fast.
Okay, and Dan Markell was killed between 8 and 12, right? We know
He was.
that now. Who paid the repairman that came to your house?
I think he was under contract, so I don't have a strong memory of that, but I don't remember paying him. It's possible that I did.
I'm going to ask you a few more questions about Mr. Lacasse. You said you might have mentioned the joke to him about TV's cheaper than a hitman. Did you ever use the term TV as code for the murder in any context?
No.
Did you ever hear your mom do that, other than the recordings in this case?
No.
So she didn't talk to you about the TV?
No.
Okay. Did you see Mr. Lacasse, and you said that was somebody that you had been dating around the time of the murder, is that right?
We had broken up just before that week that Danny was killed.
All right. Did you have an occasion to see him on July 13th of 2014? So just about a week before the murder at your residence.
I don't remember him being
that?
at my residence, but I do remember seeing him around that time.
Okay. And on July 13th, 2014, do you remember asking to share something in confidence with Mr. Lacasse?
I don't remember doing that.
Did you tell Mr. Lacasse in the context of, if something were to happen to Danny, I could move back to Miami? Did you tell Lacasse that regarding the relocation battle in the summer of 2013, Charlie had, seriously, not as a joke, explored all options to resolve the problem, including hiring a hitman?
I did not have that conversation with Jeff Lacasse.
And I think you said the week before, but wasn't it actually about, I think it was 4 days before the murder, you sent an email to Mr. Lacasse? Do you remember that email, bump in the road?
I remember telling him I didn't want to have contact with him anymore. I don't remember exactly what date I sent it, but whatever date Sunday or Monday of that week would have been around when I sent it.
Here we go. Does this refresh your memory at all?
It does.
Okay. And so you weren't officially breaking up with him so much as asking for a certain period of time without contact, is that right?
That sounds right.
Okay, and then your plan was to reach back out to him and figure things out one way or the other?
I mean, I think I was breaking up with him, but I have a strong aversion to conflict, so this was probably my way of not breaking up with him without breaking up with him.
Okay. And I want to go back to the day of the murder. We know about the TV repairman left about, did you say about 9?
The truth is I don't really remember, but something like 9 or 10.
Definitely before 10 or by 10?
Yes, that's my best memory.
All right, where did you go after the TV? Where was the next place you went after the TV repairman left?
So I was home, I think, for a couple of hours first. I was doing a little bit of work. I was talking to some friends. I think I ate breakfast. And then I left probably close to noon or a little bit after noon. I was meeting 2 friends who I would frequently meet on a Friday to have lunch with. And so I went to run a few quick errands and then meet them for lunch.
And on your way to meet the friends, did you have an occasion to go down Trescott?
I was trying to turn down Trescott. That's where I used to turn and take just the road I was used to. But there was yellow tape up. And so when I tried to turn, I couldn't turn. So I made a 3-point turn and kept going on Centerville.
And so you encountered a police roadblock at that location?
Yes.
Okay, couldn't go any further because there was a police car and some yellow tape, right?
Right.
And that was, you were able to see that from the intersection there, or you actually turned onto Trescott?
I tried to turn and then I couldn't go through, so I turned around and kept going.
How far down Trescott did you proceed before you turned around?
Just until the tape.
Okay. Which one of you or your ex-husband had the kids the night before he was killed?
The night before, they were with Danny.
All right, so it was his responsibility to take them to preschool that morning?
Yes.
Who was supposed to pick them up from preschool that day?
I was supposed to pick them up.
Had you talked to Dan Markell or your children that morning before you encountered the roadblock?
I hadn't talked to the boys because I wouldn't have talked to them, they didn't have cell phones, they were little, so I only would have spoken to them if I had gone to the preschool and seen them, but I didn't do that, so I hadn't talked to the boys. I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question?
How about Dan? Did you speak to him that morning?
We didn't. We had plans to talk. We had traded some text messages and emails, and then I called him and he didn't pick up, and that was the last contact.
Did you attempt to call Dan Markell when you encountered the roadblock?
No.
Did you attempt to call your kids' daycare after encountering the roadblock?
No.
Did you notify anyone that you observed the roadblock?
I was talking on the phone at the time, so I may have said to the person I was talking to, oh, I'm trying to drive, but I have to turn around, hold on.
Okay, that was probably a bad question. Did you attempt to investigate in any way or ask anyone what the roadblock was about?
I wasn't concerned about the roadblock.
Was Mr. Markel scheduled to leave town the day after he was killed?
I don't remember if he was scheduled to leave town on Friday afternoon or on Saturday morning, but I know that he would go to New York every time he had a chance, and I think that was where he was going. But I don't know when he was leaving.
Okay, if you'll take a look at not the binder we've been using, but the other binder, should have your law enforcement interview on the front.
Okay.
And I would just ask you to review page 159, lines 10 and 11. I think it's the very, are you able to find it?
Sorry, he had plans to be out of town. He was leaving on Saturday.
Okay.
So it looks like I knew that he was leaving Saturday.
All right. And you knew he was planning to go to New York?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how, if the killers knew that he was leaving town the next day, do you know how that information got to them?
I don't.
Did your brother Charlie know that information?
I don't
your
know if
knowledge?
I don't know if he knew that information.
Did your mother know that information?
My mom usually knew our schedule, so she probably would have known that I was going to have the boys. I don't know if that means she knew he was going to be out of town, but she would have known that I had the boys.
And didn't your mom keep meticulous track of every time that Dan went out of town?
Maybe just in the sense that if Danny was out of town, she thought maybe I needed extra help or something. So yes, probably.
And when that became an issue in the divorce, she was able to send you a record going all the way back to 2010, a couple of years of every single date he was out of town. Do you remember that email?
My mom never switched over to like a Google Calendar, so she would keep very meticulous, like a calendar of all the things she had to do. And so that was just her way of keeping track of everything. Not just this, but every part of life.
She's very detail oriented,
Yes.
even regarding things that aren't necessarily her business, or do you think that Dan's travel plans were somehow her business?
I think only to the extent that it impacted whether I had the boys or whether they were coming to visit or what that looked like.
Okay. Did Mr. Markel leave you a message on the morning of his murder?
He did.
Okay, and did he indicate on that message that he was going to the gym that morning?
He did.
And specifically, did it tell you he'd be at the gym between 9:15 and 10:30?
I don't remember, but that sounds about right.
All right, and would he have given you that much detail because you were planning to try to touch base to talk, right?
Yeah, we were trying to have a conversation.
And was the conversation something about one of the children's schooling?
It was.
Did you talk to your brother Charlie on the morning of the murder?
I did.
And does an 18-minute conversation at 9:30 a.m. that day sound correct?
It does.
Do you remember the nature of that conversation?
I do. I didn't purchase the TV, so I didn't know how much the TV cost. And so I called him to find out if it made more sense to get the TV repaired or buy a new TV, because I didn't know what the delta was there.
Okay. Can you tell the jury one way or the other for sure whether you mentioned Dan Markel's travel plans to Charlie during that 18-minute phone call?
I can't say for sure, but I don't see why I would have brought it up.
Did you have WhatsApp on your phone at that time?
I did.
What is WhatsApp?
WhatsApp is it's a phone service. It's an app that I use when I talk to people who live in other countries. So it's become very popular. I think I had it at the time. I know I certainly have it now. But it's a device to send messages.
During the time frame that we're talking about, which is around the time of the murder, did you communicate with any of your family members through WhatsApp?
I don't remember using WhatsApp unless they were traveling internationally, because it's a way of making free calls or free texts when, at that time, making long distance calls on a regular phone would have been very expensive.
Did you ever communicate with Catherine Magbanua through WhatsApp?
I don't remember ever texting her on any platform.
Did you have any other encrypted platforms on your phone at that time?
At that time, I don't think so. I don't know what existed at that time.
Okay. So after you turned around and did not proceed down Trescott, you went, I think, to the liquor store. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I was invited to a Stock the Bar party for that night for a friend's daughter. And so they asked for a specific type of bourbon. I'm not a bourbon drinker, so I went to the liquor store and I showed them the invitation, which was shaped like the kind of bourbon they wanted us to buy, and asked if they had that. And they did, and I bought it.
All right. And that type of bourbon was Bullet bourbon?
That's right.
And do you recall the time of that purchase?
I don't, but I see a receipt here at 12:49.
Okay, and does that fit with your memory? You left the house around, I think you said afternoon, proceeded to the scene, encountered the tape, and then went to the liquor store, right?
I proceeded to drive to the liquor store. I saw tape and turned around.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bought the bourbon that they asked for at 12:49, and then I may have gotten gas after that, and then I drove to lunch.
And lunch was where law enforcement came in and encountered you?
That's right.
Okay, and that was where you were having lunch with a couple friends?
That's right.
Did you relocate to South Florida after Mr. Markel's death?
In terms of relocation, I did leave Tallahassee after the funeral, but I took a weekender for both the boys and me and thought I would be back pretty quickly.
Did you come back?
I did come back a few times, but
Just to get things though, right?
not really to get things. I came back a couple of times to give a talk or to do some work, but
Okay.
or
But
to
what I'm interested in is where were you living after the murder?
I wasn't living in Tallahassee.
All right. Did you recall on the trip to South Florida, just within 48 hours of the shooting, getting a call from Craig Isom?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened with that call?
I talked to him for a while. He mentioned that he might want to have DNA samples of the kids. We were already halfway down. We'd been in the car for about 4 hours with the boys.
Who's
and
the we in that sentence?
I was with my parents
Okay.
and the kids.
Yep.
We talked, the call broke up, and he never followed up.
Was it like a, you're breaking up?
I told him I was having a hard time hearing.
But were you faking that or was it really breaking up?
I was not faking that.
And did you send your lawyer to him after that, shortly after that?
I told him he could talk to my lawyer. He never followed up.
Were you happy to be out of Tallahassee when you were able to return to South Florida?
No, I was not happy.
Did you send a text message on January 1st of 2016 that's contrary to that?
At that point, it would have been 1.5 years after I'd been living somewhere else, so I don't know what text message you're referring to, but...
But at that point, you were happy to be out of Tallahassee?
It's not a question of happy to be out of Tallahassee. I was trying to build a new life for myself, and I didn't feel safe here anymore.
All right, let's take a look at tab 96, please.
96 in the old one or the new one?
The old one, please.
Okay. Okay, I see it, but it says unknown, so I don't know who I'm talking to.
Well, that's not the question. The question is, did you say, so happy I don't live there? And the person says, I bet it's a shithole. Remember that?
I don't remember this, no, but I do see that I said it. I don't know who I'm talking to here, and
Would it surprise you to learn you were speaking to your brother, Charlie Adelson?
I don't know if it would surprise me. So, no.
Okay, Judge, may we approach it this time?
You may. You may continue with your examination.
Ma'am, did you change your children's names after Dan Markell was killed?
About a year after I did.
In what way did you change their names?
I changed their last name and I changed my older son's middle name
Okay. And you changed their last name from Markell to what?
to mine.
Adelson.
Mhm.
I'm going to start by asking you about this email dated July 3rd, 2014. What is this?
This is the, it looks like an electronic invitation for my dad's 70th birthday.
An Evite, right?
Yes.
And who sent the invitation to you?
Well, it looks like it's through the postmark.
I mean, who sent the party invitations out?
I don't remember if I helped with the Evite or if my mom did it. So I don't know if I sent it to myself or if it's from my mom.
Would you have sent it to yourself?
I'm a little better with tech stuff than my parents, so I might have helped them put together an Evite.
Okay.
I don't
well,
remember.
Who does it say is the host of the party?
Oh, my mom's the host. You asked who sent the email, and I didn't remember. But my mom is the host of the party for my
Okay.
dad.
And to whom is the party invitation sent?
It's sent to me and my two children.
Okay. And this was sent on July 3rd, 2014, before the murder, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then back up just a little bit here. This email, do you recognize this one? Are you able to read it okay on your screen?
I can read it okay.
All right. Who sent this email?
This is from, it says my mom, but it says Harvey Adelson. So again, I don't know which parent it's from.
Okay. If it was from Harvey Adelson, would he say Lincoln is going to be attending Shabbat with his grandpa, Harvey Adelson?
I mean, it seems more likely somebody else would have written with his grandpa, but I don't know. I kind of write those things sometimes, like Lincoln will attend something with his mom and say my name. I know it's awkward to say it in the third person, but I don't think it's impossible.
Okay. But this reference to Lincoln Adelson did happen prior to the legal name change, correct?
Yes. No, I from the beginning, I was scared when I put them in school, and so I didn't legally change their name until a year after, but I was socially using my name for them.
And did that start as soon as their dad was killed?
No, it started when I had to register them for school.
And your mom helped with the registrations as well, didn't she?
I think I did the registrations myself.
What about here for flag football? Did your mom assist with that?
It looks like she did. There were some after-school activities.
Okay, and she registered your child under the last name Adelson, right?
Yes.
Where was Dan Markell buried?
In Toronto.
Were you or your children in attendance at his funeral?
No.
When was the last time you spoke to your mother, Donna Adelson, as we sit here today?
November of 2023.
Okay. And so she hasn't given you any information or advice about how to testify in court, has
No,
she?
ma'am. No.
What about, you did offer testimony in November of 2023 as well, right, on a related case?
Yes,
Okay,
October.
And did your mom, when you spoke to her in November of 2023, offer you any advice or thoughts about how you should act or behave or what you should say in court?
Yes,
She did.
she did.
And what was that?
I can't tell you I remember exactly, but she was hoping I would be supportive of my brother.
Okay, and do you know what her thoughts were afterwards?
I do.
Okay, and what were they?
She was devastated.
She didn't feel you were supportive.
No.
Were you in any way involved in the plot to kill your ex-husband?
No.
Did you maybe know it was going to happen but not know the details?
I did not know it was going to happen, and I did not know any details.
Did you provide any information, even unknowingly in hindsight, that you think could have been used to assist the murderers?
I don't think so. I didn't provide any information.
What information do you have regarding your mother's involvement in the plot to kill your ex-husband?
I don't have information.
But you do admit that your brother said he looked into hiring a hitman to kill Dan Markell.
I don't. I admit that my brother made a tasteless joke repeatedly about buying me a TV because it was cheaper than hiring a hitman.
But then someone did hire a hitman who did kill Dan Markell, right?
Yes, that happened.
Was part of the plot to kill your ex for you to have plausible deniability or to know very little about it?
I was not involved in any plot to kill Danny.
Were you shielded from the plot because, I don't know, you couldn't be trusted to keep a secret?
I was not involved in any plot to kill Danny.
Why did you tell investigator Isom in your law enforcement interview that you were worried the police, or you were worried, I guess, in the police car on the way to be interviewed, that you might be considered a suspect?
Because I couldn't think of anything bad going on in his life other than the divorce. And frequently the ex-wife is a suspect.
Were you treated as a suspect?
I was not.
But you mentioned 9 times in your law enforcement interview being a suspect, didn't you?
I did, yes.
When you were approached at the restaurant, you weren't yet told that this was a shooting, were you?
I was not.
You were only told something happened with your ex-husband.
I don't even know if I was told that. I was very scared something happened to my kids, and that's why law enforcement was there, and they wouldn't tell me what was going on.
But they did reassure you that the kids were fine. You remember
They told me
that?
that law enforcement officers were with the children, which terrified me because I didn't know why my children would need law enforcement officers.
So you didn't know what this was about at all when you were in the police car?
In the car, they told me.
Okay, in the car they told you what?
They said, your ex-husband has been shot.
Okay. So that you learned that information prior to getting into the interview room?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember allowing law enforcement to take possession of your computer in that interview?
I told law enforcement to search my phone, search my computer, search my house, search my car. I was trying to be helpful.
Do you remember saying that it was okay for them to take the computer and keep it even though you had work things on there because you didn't think you would be going back to work?
I remember thinking it wasn't important. I couldn't imagine. My life fell apart.
But you didn't go back to work, did you, at FSU?
I did actually go back, not physically present, but I was still on the FSU payroll until December of that year.
Okay. In that interview with law enforcement, did you suggest that your parents are people who may have been angry enough to kill Dan Markell?
I suggested a lot of people who could have been angry enough to kill Danny.
And were some of the people my parents?
Yes.
But you said in the interview that you didn't think they were capable of it, didn't you?
I did.
If your mom wasn't capable of it, did she have anyone that she could enlist to assist her?
I don't know.
What was your first thought when you were asked if anyone might have murdered Dan Markell for your benefit?
I thought maybe a crazed friend or a former student.
It's not what you said, though, is it?
I don't remember exactly what I said first.
You said Charlie, right?
If that's what I said, then you have it there, but I don't remember who I listed first.
Okay, can you at least tell the jury you definitely did say Charlie as one of those people?
I did.
Do you remember saying, if somebody tried to kill my ex-husband, they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law?
Yes.
And Isom says, regardless of who it is, and do you recall your answer?
I do recall my answer.
What was that?
I think I was hoping it wasn't anyone in my family, and so that idea that it was someone in my family gave me pause.
All right, but that wasn't your answer, was it?
I don't remember word for word what I
Okay.
said, but that was my sentiment at the time.
Was your answer for court and counsel, this is law enforcement interview page 122, lines 7 through 12. If somebody tried to kill my ex-husband, they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Question, regardless of who it is. Answer, I mean, it would be different if I thought it were my brother. Did you call your mom from the interview room at Tallahassee Police Department?
I did.
And did she answer the phone?
She did.
When she answered, did she advise you that your dad was in the shower?
I don't remember whether my dad was in the shower.
You asked her to sit down, do you remember that?
I do.
All right. And by asking her to sit down, would that signify to her that this was going to be something serious you were going to reveal or say?
I was concerned about her age and if she were standing that she could, hurt herself if she fell down.
Okay. And do you recall that she at that point asked if she could put you on speakerphone?
I don't remember, but that sounds plausible.
What was the purpose of putting the phone on speaker, if you know?
I would be guessing, but so my dad could hear too?
But wasn't Dad in the shower, or you don't remember that part?
I don't remember if my dad was in the shower.
Was anyone else there to your knowledge?
I don't think so.
Was Charlie there to your knowledge?
I don't think so.
Did you ask your mom in that telephone conversation to tell Charlie what was going on?
I think I did. I didn't want to make any more phone calls.
And your mom took the news pretty well, didn't she, this phone call?
I wouldn't say she took the news well. I think she was upset.
Did you say something different in your law enforcement interview after you got off the phone with her?
I don't think I did. I don't think I said something like that.
Didn't you say, page 265, line 5 through 6, quote, my mom handled that pretty well?
I may have said that. I can check it. Can you tell me the line again?
Yes, ma'am, page 265, line 5 and 6.
Yes, that's what I said.
And then page 280, line 22 and 23. Did you also say, well, my parents sounded really surprised, so that's at least a relief?
Yes, I see that here.
No further questions.
Just one moment, Your Honor. afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
I represent your mother in this case. You've never spoken to me about this case, correct?
I have not.
I guess the best place to start is where you left off with respect to the comments that you made regarding your mother taking it well. When's the last time you listened to that call?
I haven't listened to it. Listened to the call I had with my mom. I've never listened to it.
Well, from the interview room, you've never listened to your interview?
I have read the transcript of my interview, but I never listened to my interview.
You don't recall the shock in your mother's voice when you told her what had happened?
I do think she was shocked.
You could hear that over the phone, correct?
Yes.
So many topics were covered, I'm going to have to kind of skip around, okay? Katie Magbanawa, Catherine Magbanawa, I guess people call her Katie. There was a picture of you with her at the beach, and there was another young lady there. You recall that?
I recall the picture, yes.
And that was Father's Day weekend, I guess, of 2014?
Yes, ma'am.
And I think your testimony was that really you only knew her with Charlie, is that right?
That's right.
Was Charlie at the beach?
No.
Your mother wasn't there either, was she?
No.
And then I think you mentioned that you had had a dinner with Katie?
And my brother.
Okay. Was that before you went to the beach?
It was a different time.
Do you recall if it was before then?
It was before,
Okay.
but several months before.
Several months before.
Mhm.
Okay. So if this was Father's Day, when do you think you actually met her for the first time?
I think I met her when I was doing the alternative spring break, so that's usually March or April.
Same year?
Same year.
And the dinner that was mentioned, is that the first place you ever met her?
That's the first place I remember meeting her.
And who all was there?
It was my brother and Katie and Jeff and I. Jeff
Mr.
Lacasse.
I'm sorry, how you pronounce it?
Lacasse.
Lacasse. Okay, so the four of you were there. Your mother was not there.
No.
I want you to, it's been 11 years, so a lot I'm sure has happened to you in the past 11 years. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And your memory may not be as good as it was of things that happened back then, now that 11 years has passed. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. As best you can, I want you to take yourself out of the year 2025 and go back to the years somewhere like 2010 through 2014 when Mr. Markell was murdered, okay?
Okay.
In that time frame are going to be most of the questions that I ask you.
Okay.
All right. I think you testified you had a brother, Charlie,
Yes.
and you have a brother, Rob.
Yes.
So that was a five-member family.
Yes.
Okay. And Rob's the oldest.
Yes.
Charlie's the middle.
Yes.
And you're the baby.
Yes.
Okay. And you grew up in a household where, was your mother working when you were younger?
No.
Okay. She stayed home with the kids.
She did.
And at some point she went back into teaching, which is what she had done before she had her first child, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she did that after you were in school, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then you all went to school, grade school, high school, you grew up, right?
Yes.
Each one of you went off to college.
Yes.
Each one of you got a postgraduate degree.
Yes.
So you're an attorney.
Yes.
Charlie became a periodontist.
Yes.
Which is someone who does surgery related to dentistry, correct?
Yes.
And then Rob's a doctor as well.
Yes.
And throughout the time that you all were going to college, your parents helped support you,
Yes.
every one of you.
Yes.
And you had a good childhood.
I did.
And your mom took good care of you all.
Yes.
She treated you well.
Yes.
Very kind,
Yes.
very loving,
Yes.
very caring towards her family and others.
Yes.
I think you once described her as being kind, empathetic, and very loving and sensitive person. Do you recall that?
I don't recall that, but that sounds right.
That she radiates positivity.
Yes.
She has a very loving and respectful and fun relationship with my dad. They are very much in love. Now it's been 54 years.
It has.
You said your mom was completely selfless.
Yes.
That's the opposite of selfish.
It is.
Means she's caring more about others than she does about herself.
Yes, ma'am.
And what she did was for others.
Yes.
Never doing anything for herself.
Correct.
She She was invested in your lives,
Yes.
and both of your brothers.
Yes.
Okay. You were a close family.
Yes.
And would you say she was a good mother to you?
Yes. Very good mother.
And a very good grandmother as well.
Yes.
When you had your first child, and you needed someone to help out, your mother came.
She did.
And she spent time there.
Yes.
And when the baby was crying in the middle of the night so that you could get some rest, she took care of the baby.
She did.
And she did that for both of your children.
Yes.
Fair to say that your mom has always been there for you when you needed her?
Yes.
For little things and big things.
Yes.
Now, you said that you testified that you left Danny in September of 2012. You recall that?
Yes.
From September of 2012 until March of 2013, your mother actually spent quite a bit of time helping you with the boys in Tallahassee, correct?
She did. Yes.
She would go home and take care of things there, but she would return.
Yes.
So a substantial amount of each month, she was there assisting you with the children.
Yes.
While you were at work, she may take them to school. Is that correct, their daycare?
I don't remember that one, whether I dropped them at school or my mom did, but it's certainly possible that she took them to school.
She might have picked them up.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
She did some housework, cleaning up around the house.
Yes.
She bought groceries.
Yes.
She cooked.
Yes.
She cleaned.
Yes.
She was there for you because you had just left a marriage where you had a partner helping you, and now you were adjusting to being by yourself, correct?
Yes.
Now, at the time, this time period we're talking about, your mother lived in, where did you say, Coral Springs?
Coral Springs.
And where is that in relation to Miami?
It's Broward County, so it's the county north of Dade County, which is where Miami is.
And in Broward County, that's like where Fort Lauderdale is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and their dentist practice that they had that's been referred to, Adelson Institute.
Yes.
That was located in Broward County, correct?
It was, yes.
Not far from where your parents lived.
Yes, in Tamarack, so close to Coral Springs.
Okay. And at some point, they got the place down in Miami, right?
Yes.
So what they were doing was they would work Monday through Thursday and stay at their home in Coral Springs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
then they would go and spend the weekend at the place in Miami. Is that right?
I don't think every weekend, but some weekends.
Some of them. Okay.
Yeah,
And you visited there.
I did.
Okay. Now, when your mother would come up to assist you or just to visit with you and the children and Danny, did she drive typically or fly?
I think sometimes drive, sometimes fly.
Okay. And that's
Most of the time drive, I think.
most of the time drive. And that's almost an 8-hour trip, correct?
It is, yes.
And at the time that this occurred, your mother would have been, when Danny was murdered, she would have been, let's see, 64-ish?
That sounds right.
She's 75 now. Is that yes?
Yes.
Okay. And sometimes she would rent cars, is that right?
Yes.
As opposed to driving her vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Your father came sometimes as well to help out?
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk about Mr. Markell for a few minutes. I think you said you met online,
We did.
but you were attracted to him.
Yes.
He was a handsome young man.
Yes.
You're a beautiful young woman.
Thank you.
And you got married.
We did, yes.
And there were times, I mean, we've heard about the divorce, but before the divorce, there were times where you had a happy marriage.
Yes.
And you all enjoyed spending time together.
Yes.
The two of you together and with your children.
Yes.
And even your parents who would come up and spend time with you.
Yes.
And your parents actually took you and Danny on vacations, right?
Yes.
There was one trip where they took you out of the country and you went ziplining. Do you remember that?
Yes, we went to Costa Rica.
And after the ziplining is when you told them that you were pregnant, correct?
I went ziplining pregnant, yes.
Okay. You would agree with me that Danny, I'm saying Danny because that's what people call him. I'm not trying to be disrespectful of him. He's
No, I called him Danny.
okay. You would agree that he was very intelligent.
Yes, very.
He had 2 degrees from Harvard, correct?
Yes.
Undergraduate and law school.
Yes, ma'am.
He did a lot of writing,
Yes.
and at the time that he was murdered, he was a tenured professor at the College of Law here at FSU, correct?
Yes.
And becoming tenured is not like an automatic thing. You have to work towards that, right?
Yes,
Takes a lot of time,
it does.
a lot of effort.
Mhm.
He put in a lot of work to gain that status.
Yes,
And he traveled to go and speak at different places, right?
yes,
And he was well respected by his colleagues.
yes, very.
Okay. And after he had children, those became the love of his life, didn't they?
Yes,
And even after you separated, I think you would agree with me that Danny made a great deal of effort to get as much time with his children as he could. Is that fair?
yes, absolutely.
Even when it was your time to have the children, he would go to their preschool and visit with them there.
Yes,
He wanted to talk to them on the phone when he didn't have them,
yes,
and he wanted to Skype with them,
Yes.
correct? Okay. And that, I'm sorry, I'm old, but that involved like a computer where you can see each other while you're talking, is that right?
I think now it's something you could do on the phone, but back then you needed a computer.
And you assisted with that,
I did.
not necessarily the schedule he wanted.
I'm sorry?
You didn't necessarily keep the schedule that Danny wanted for Skyping, right?
I did try.
You tried.
Yes,
But that was one of the things you two bickered about.
it was.
Okay. And during the time that you were with Danny, your mother was always kind to him, wasn't she?
She was.
Before you got married to him,
Yes,
while you were married to him,
yes,
while you were separated,
yes,
and after the divorce.
yes,
And there's been a lot of testimony and a lot of pictures put up, lots of things highlighted about the ugly things that your mother said about Danny during the course of the separation, the divorce, and the follow-up litigation, right?
yes,
And you shared, as you've testified, some of the pleadings that were filed in your case.
yes.
And some of the pleadings weren't very attractive towards you, were they?
No.
They described things that were derogatory towards you. Is that fair?
Yes,
And the communications that you had with Danny during the separation leading up to the divorce and some thereafter were pretty critical of you, weren't they?
the communication on paper, which
Right.
was very different than the communication in person.
Right. But the paperwork was critical.
Yes,
And you shared that with your mother.
yes,
And some of the things that he said to you in writing, whether they were communications or in the pleadings, upset you.
yes,
Some of it was very upsetting to you.
yes,
And you shared it with your mother, and then she became upset.
yes,
And she said bad words.
yes,
She called him a lot of bad names.
yes,
She said ugly things about him.
yes,
But not one single time did she ever suggest in writing or to you personally that Danny deserved to be harmed, did she?
never,
Never said he needed to be killed.
never,
Never suggested any harm to him in any way.
never.
And those things that she said, and you also amended your petition for dissolution to add relocation, correct?
I did.
Okay. At the time that you filed it, did you think you had a good shot at it?
I thought I had a shot. I didn't really know. It would depend on the judge.
Okay. And we'll go back to it later, but I guess on June the 18th of 2013, which would be right before your divorce was finalized, right? You had a hearing on your motion for relocation.
Yes,
And the state has already presented in its exhibits a copy of the order, and relocation was denied, correct?
it was.
Okay. And after relocation was denied, you and Danny were able to work out some kind of temporary schedule for the summer?
We were.
Okay. And then you proceeded forward, and there's been discussion, there was a mediation that did not resolve your divorce, but within a few days thereafter, you did come to an agreement with Danny, correct?
We did.
You agreed to all of the issues in the dissolution of marriage, right?
Yes,
Including how you were going to share time with him.
yes,
Was it ever your intention in the dissolution proceedings, from the time that you moved out of your marital home, that you would actually take the children's custody completely away from Danny so that he couldn't see them?
and no,
Did you always want them to be a big part of his life?
of course.
He loved them and they loved him.
Yes,
Yep, that's fine. The bailiff will take you all to the jury room. They can come up here to use it if they need to. Thank you. You all can be seated. Zalman, if your client does need to use a bathroom break at this point, this would be the opportunity to do so. We'll be in, we'll take a 5-minute break. Hopefully the jurors will be ready at that point. You can step down if you need to.
I'll wait. Thank you.
How are they doing in the bathroom?
Hold on, okay.
There's like a few waiting.
No, she said they're lining up now.
Okay. Please remain standing, and the jurors will come out in just a moment.
Go ahead.
This is one of the ones we did during. She's not going to push her to continue this now.
Gotcha. Everyone can be seated. Ms. Fulford, you may continue with your cross-examination.
Thank you. I have just a bunch of oddball questions at this point. You recall getting emails from your mother
Yes.
and your father,
Well, yes, from both,
And-
from the
and-
same email.
and I think you had a necklace at some point during that time period that said, never, never, never give up.
I did.
And your parents would sometimes put that in the emails back to you, correct?
Yes.
I need to know if you recall this. Your parents, you had mentioned when they went out of the country, you used the WhatsApp to communicate with them because it was free of charge.
Yes.
And you could call them free of
Yeah.
charge?
Yes.
And you could message with them free of charge?
Both. Yes.
Okay. And when your parents would go out of town, do you recall that they had a routine where your mother would take her phone, but your father would not get the plan to travel with? Do you recall that?
That sounds right.
Okay. And wasn't that because if you called the Adelson Institute and you got the answering machine, it was an old-fashioned answering machine, right?
Yes.
And what it gave out if you reached the answering machine was your father's cell phone number.
Yes.
So he didn't want to
Yes.
be contacted when he was out of town, and that's what people would get, right?
Yes.
The birthday party that's been mentioned for your dad, it was his 70th birthday.
It was.
And although I don't think it ended up being a surprise, your mom was trying to plan a party for him where he knew his children and grandchildren would be there, but she was trying to surprise him with the friends.
That's right.
Okay. And you might have helped her with some of those preparations.
I think so.
And she planned it for several months, right?
Yes.
And I think one of the things that you got involved with was a caterer that was going to be used to cook paella. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, at the party.
It's pronounced paella. I remember on the night of, I speak Spanish, so I spoke with him in Spanish because I don't think he spoke much English.
And Mommy, your mother didn't speak Spanish, right?
No.
Okay. You weren't actually making the order and buying it, correct?
No, I didn't pay for anything.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm sorry. It's still Adelson, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Adelson, I'm going to approach and show you what's been marked just for identification purposes as Defense 49J, and ask you to look at that and tell me if you've ever seen that before.
I have seen this before.
Okay, and that's an email that your father sent to you regarding the appointment that he had made for the TV to be repaired, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And on the front page, you can see where he's forwarding it to you, and it says, "Love, Dad," right?
Yes.
And then he tells you when the appointment's going to be, Friday the 18th between 8 and 12, right?
Yes.
And then when you flip, well, now stay on the first page. Do you see down almost 2/3 of the way down where it has the order information and the order creation date?
Yes.
And that date was what?
The order creation date is July 11th, 2014.
Okay. And on the next page, where the problem description is, it says that Harvey called in, stated that the 55-inch TV had some problems, right?
Yes.
Go to the next page, it repeats about the complaint that your father had about what was wrong with the TV, right?
Yes.
If you scroll down, there are some questions under dates submitted, right?
Yes.
Whether the TV is wall mounted,
Yes.
what the size of the TV is.
Yes.
If it's mounted over 6 feet high.
Yes.
If the height of the ceiling.
Yes.
Is it eligible for a loaner?
Yes.
Was it installed by the Geek Squad?
Yes.
Is the product that we're going to service in a place of business?
So I'm saying yes that I see these questions, but the answer to that question is no.
Right.
Okay.
Correct. That's what I was going to point out. So your
Okay.
dad said no to that one, correct?
Right.
Is the product that we are going to service in a place of business, and your dad answered no, correct?
He answered no.
And the next one says what?
Would you be willing to accept a sooner appointment if one became available? And the answer to that one is yes.
Thank you. May I approach? Ms. Adelson, you testified on direct when asked some questions about the name change of your children. You recall those questions?
Yes.
Okay, and I think your testimony was that you officially changed your children's last names a year and a half? What did you say?
I legally changed them a year after Danny's death.
Okay. But after he passed away and you went to Miami, it was time for your oldest child to be enrolled in kindergarten, right?
Yes.
And so what were the ages of the children when Danny was murdered?
They were almost 5 and 3.5.
Okay. And so the 5-year-old was going into kindergarten?
Yes.
And where was the other child going to be? Was he being posted in a preschool program?
It was a preschool program.
Okay, and so you went and registered them at the school, correct?
Yes.
And the official registration said Markel for the children's last names, correct?
I believe so.
But because you were going to socially refer to them as Adelson, that's what you asked the school to do as well, right?
Yes.
And so when you went into orientation for the oldest child, I'm trying not to say the name, when you went into orientation for the oldest child for kindergarten, and they had his little nameplate there where he was going to sit at his desk, it said last name Adelson, right?
I honestly don't remember him having a last name on. I remember his first name being there, but I don't remember. I thought they put the first names for the kindergartners.
But you asked the school to refer to him by the last name Adelson.
I did. I
Okay.
did.
And so there was an exhibit that was shown to you where your mother had registered him for an after-school flag football, right?
Right.
And so because the school's knowing his name, that he's being referred to as Adelson, that's why she did that, correct?
Correct.
And the youngest one, where was he going to go? Or where did he go?
He was at a preschool, a private preschool, because he was too young to go to the preschool at the public elementary school.
Okay, and whether it was your mother or your father who wrote the email about signing up and grandpa's coming with him to, I'm sorry, I'm not Jewish, I didn't understand what that was.
It's okay. Tot Shabbat would have been, like a Sabbath
Okay.
activity where the grandparents would come and sing songs and
Okay.
something like that.
And so the younger one's also being known as last name Adelson.
Yes.
Okay. Because socially, that's what you wanted them to go forward with.
I thought it would make them safer.
Okay. There was some questions of you on direct about potentially purchasing a home after the divorce was final in 2013. You recall those questions?
I do.
And it was suggested that Charlie convinced you not to do that, right?
That was what was suggested.
But in fact, the reason I think you stated was because you hadn't gotten your settlement yet from Mr. Markel.
Right. I didn't have the money to purchase a home.
And so even though you had been interested in it, you had to notify your realtor that.
It wasn't possible at that time.
Okay. And in the emails that the state introduced and discussed with you, where your mother is making lots of suggestions, mostly after relocation was denied, of things that you could do, like tell Danny you're going to raise them as Catholics, you're going to have them baptized as Catholics, all of those suggestions she was making, correct?
Yes.
She wasn't actually suggesting you do it. She was wanting you to use that as a means of negotiating with Danny, right?
That's my understanding.
That if he thought maybe you were going to do these things, he would reconsider the issue of relocation, correct?
Correct.
Testified that your mother hated Danny at the time that he was killed. Do you remember saying that?
I believe I said that.
But the week before he died, your mother was babysitting for Danny, wasn't she?
Yes.
And nothing but pleasantries between the two of them.
That's right.
And
I
in
mean,
fact, she actually made him banana bread specifically the way he liked it, right?
it was his favorite.
Without nuts, but with chocolate chips.
That's right.
But you think she hated him?
I think she was mad at him.
Mad at him. There's a difference between being mad at someone and hating them, isn't there?
There is.
I think you testified that, and there may have been an email that suggested it, that you would have never left Danny if not for your mom and maybe brother's suggestions. Did you say that?
I don't think that was exactly right. I think it was, I probably wouldn't have left. Kind of suggesting that maybe I would have wanted to, but wouldn't have had the strength or wherewithal to leave on my own.
Okay, isn't it true that each year, maybe not every year, but many years, yourself and Danny would, when you finished the school session here at FSU College of Law, you would go down to Coral Springs or Miami, whichever they were at, and you would spend almost 2 weeks with your parents, right?
Yes.
And that would be yourself and Danny when it was just you, right?
Yes.
And then after you had the children, all of you went down there, correct?
Yes.
Well, in fact, what really happened was in the summer of 2012, when you decided that you were going to leave Danny, Danny was down there with you, correct?
Yes.
And the children were there too?
Yes.
And they were young. How old were they?
In 2012, they would have been 2 and 3.
Okay. And Danny was there, and you actually asked your mom if she'd go out to coffee with you. You remember that?
I don't remember that.
And you told her then that you were going to leave Danny and get a divorce, didn't you?
That sounds right, but I don't remember that.
Okay. And in fact, she suggested counseling to you, and you told her you guys had already been in counseling and it didn't work. Isn't that right?
We had been in counseling and it hadn't worked, but again, this sounds like something that could have happened, but I just don't remember the coffee.
Okay. There was also questions of you, several questions about your interview with law enforcement the day that Danny was shot. You recall those questions from the state?
I do recall the questions.
And they were pointing out things that you had said about your family, your parents, Charlie. You remember those questions?
I do.
Isn't it true that when you were interviewed by law enforcement, what you said initially was that Danny's parents were going to think that you're the one who did it, right?
I did say that.
I wanted to talk about the relocation a little bit. So you have a relocation hearing on June the 18th. Does that sound right?
2013?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. And leading up to that hearing, you notified your mother by email that because she was going to be testifying in court, she would need to wait outside that hearing, correct?
I don't remember that, but that if she was supposed to be a witness, then she couldn't be present for the hearing.
May I approach, Your Honor? I'm going to show you, oh my goodness, I can't read that. I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification purposes of Defense Exhibit 49B. If you could just read that for me, please, to yourself.
Do you want me to read to the end?
No, ma'am, I'm just
Oh.
looking for where you told your mother, get you to agree that you said to her, because you are testifying in court, Mom, you won't be able to sit in on the hearing with me. Is that what
Yes.
you said?
Yes,
Okay.
but I can have Dad there.
Okay.
Yep.
Come and get it from you.
Okay.
Thank you. Sometime in April of 2013, so that would be not long before your divorce was final, you took a trip. I don't know if you were speaking there or someone else was, but you took a trip out of town with a gentleman named Miguel. You recall that?
I don't recall the trip, but I was seeing Miguel at the time.
You do recall the trip?
Well, I was seeing Miguel at the time, but I don't know what the trip was in April of 2013. I don't remember that. Can you tell me where we went?
Yes, ma'am, I'm going to get that. for
Okay.
you. Puerto Rico, does that sound familiar?
It was a clinical law professor conference. There's one every year, and that year it was in Puerto Rico.
Okay, and did you speak at that, or you were there to get credit hours or something of that
No,
nature?
I spoke.
May I approach, Your Honor? I'm going to now show you what's been marked for identification purposes as Defendant's Exhibit 1E. And it's dated April the 28th of 2013 and addressed Dear Renee. You don't need to read it all, but would you familiarize yourself with your communication there, please?
Okay, I've read a little bit. Do you want me to?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I'll point out any sections that I wanted to discuss with you. Would you agree that you wrote this on April the 28th of 2013?
Yes, it looks like I dated it.
Okay, and that's to Renee.
Yes.
And you're coming back from your trip to Puerto Rico.
Yes.
And while you were on this trip, your parents were taking care of the boys, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And on the first page, down towards the bottom, you have some bullet points about what you would like to do to resolve your divorce, correct?
Well, I think it was not just about my divorce. It was kind of about how I wanted to be living my life overall.
Yeah, I was trying not to get into the personal information, but that's right. This entire email is really about changes you want to make in your life, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the last bullet point down at the bottom, it says, I've been coming to a place in the last few months where I have realized that I want to keep my job. It allows me the maximum amount of flexibility to spend with my kids while allowing the freedom for intellectual exploration, one-on-one mentoring with students, and meaningful work in the community. I don't care that Gibbers told my colleagues that I stole from him and that I am mentally ill. Nasty things are said in divorce, and people know that, right?
Yes.
Tallahassee isn't ever where I wanted to live, but it's where the job is. And it's where my boy's father is, which means they don't have to constantly be flying on planes or driving in cars to accomplish our custody situation, right?
Yes.
So you have the pending petition and motion for relocation, but as of April the 28th, you're starting to think maybe staying in Tallahassee is the right thing to do, correct?
Yes.
And then this goes on. Third page is, now you're writing on May the 2nd of 2013, correct?
Yes.
A little different subject, but if you go to the next to the last page of that exhibit, see where it starts, wait, it's me again?
Yes.
Okay. The paragraph after that, I wanted to ask you about this. It says, on Sunday morning, we're supposed to sit on the same stage. You're referring to Mr. Markell, correct?
Yes.
In full regalia and clap for the graduating law students. I love graduation, and the Gibbs has never attended because it's normally on a Saturday morning and he is at synagogue. Correct?
Yes.
And then you say it's on Sunday this year and I have the boys and the dean wants all faculty to attend, so I need to. It's only 2 hours and my mom can watch the boys during that time. Correct?
Yes.
So it was fairly routine then for you to get your mother or both parents' assistance when you had somewhere that you needed to be and someone needed to take care of the children, correct?
Yes.
Sorry, Judge, I have so many papers up here, I'm confused.
Every time, it's your opportunity to examine the witness.
May I approach? I'm going to exchange with you, Ms. Adelson. I'll take that one back and then show you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 1G for identification purposes. Could you review that to yourself, please?
Okay.
I'm not sure if this was to Renee or not. Yeah, you mentioned Renee. So this is on June the 4th of 2013, correct?
Yes.
And we're approaching the hearing date on the relocation motion, which is set for June the 18th, right?
Yes.
And in here, you're expressing some concerns over what you've been through in the divorce. But you said, and I think the state referred to this, that Mr. Markell had sent you a long message about how you could be doing all of the divorce stuff so differently in the spirit of love and joy, where we get together and talk about our vision for the boys and for our future. And I won't say what you said after that, but at this point, you're kind of agreeing with him. You want to do it peacefully, right?
Yes.
And you talk about the one alternative is you could call Gary. Now, Gary is the gentleman who was kind of offering you a position in Miami, right?
Gary was a partner at the law firm where a position was offered to me.
Okay, and your plan was to have him come and testify at the relocation hearing about the job that he would be giving you if you relocated there, correct?
Yes.
And you had other people who were going to testify there as well on your behalf, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so you say one alternative is you call Gary and say, I've changed my mind. I don't think it's best for my kids to move them to South Florida. I appreciate you saving the job for me, but I'm not going to come to South Florida, correct?
Yes.
And then you say, you call your brother and say, I love you, Charlie, but I'm going to stay in Tallahassee. I know you don't agree with my decision, but that's what's best for me and the kids right now. I hope one day you'll understand. That was something else you were considering, correct?
Right.
And then call your parents and say basically the same thing. And if they wanted to come up anytime and visit you and the boys in Tallahassee, they were free to do so, right?
Yes.
But that's like they've always been doing, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you think if you take relocation off the table, that it will give you an opportunity to discuss things with Mr. Markell and hopefully work them out, right?
Yes.
On the next page, you talk about what the alternative vision is, and that's what you currently have planned, which is to have Gary fly up to testify at the hearing, right?
Yes.
Your mom would testify, right?
Yes.
They would fly up and spend days with you, correct?
Yes.
You expected at that time the hearing would last 1 to 2 days, right?
Yes.
And you were concerned that you would go through all of that, spending more money, being more stressed. And then you say, for the chance to save face with my family and to be given an opportunity I don't actually want, to live with them in South Florida. That's what you said, right?
Well, I say an opportunity I don't actually want with all of my heart, but maybe part of it,
Okay.
to live with them in South Florida.
All right. And then you say, so I am willing to put myself through all of this just to keep up appearances with my parents and brother that I want to be living down in South Florida or down south with them, even though I don't want to. That's what you said, right?
I say, even though I don't want to give up my current flexible job where I get to spend maximum time with my kids so I can be with them.
Okay. And that was June the 4th of 2013, right?
Yes.
And what you end up choosing was the second alternative, correct?
I went through with the hearing.
Okay. And I think, let me find it. May I approach, Your Honor? I'm going to show you what's already been introduced into evidence as State's Exhibit 60. Let's see if I can figure out their lettering system. That would be Y. I'm going to take this and let you take this book.
Okay.
And if you would review that pleading, or this order that the court entered, please.
Okay.
Have you had an opportunity to review that?
Yes.
So you went into this hearing and Gary ended up coming, correct?
He did.
And he testified, right?
Yes.
And you gave some testimony, correct?
Yes.
And what happened was the judge kind of called a timeout, right?
I don't remember a timeout.
At some point she wanted to speak to counsel, is that right?
I'm sorry, I don't remember that part of her speaking to counsel. And
Do you remember the judge making some comments about the children hadn't been harmed and since he hadn't pulled out their toenails?
I do remember the toenail comment, yes.
So she wasn't leaning towards relocation, correct?
No.
Okay, so even though you had other witnesses, you didn't proceed with the hearing, right?
Well, I think we had the hearing and the judge decided.
You didn't call all your witnesses, did you?
I don't remember.
If you look at the order, it says order on wife's petition to relocate with the minor children. And then it says what the court orders and adjudges. The court does not find that the wife has met her burden of proof that a relocation is in the best interest of the minor children. You see that?
Yes, number 1.
Yes, and your mother actually stayed outside for the testimony of that hearing with your dad, correct?
I don't remember, but I remember asking her to stay outside if she was going to testify.
Okay. And you came outside at some point and told your parents that relocation was denied, correct?
Correct.
And it's after this hearing, when relocation is denied, that those truly ugly emails that your mother wrote were written by her, correct?
Yes.
May I approach? Actually, if you'd keep that for a second.
Okay.
Once the final judgment was entered, the issue of relocation was over, right?
Yes.
Relocation from July 31st of 2013 until the time that Mr. Markell was murdered was never an issue again, was it?
It was never an issue from the day it was decided on July 31st, 2013. That's when it ended.
Certainly after the final judgment, correct?
Yes.
And that's the end of the discussion about relocation, right?
Yes.
No more plans about how to get relocation. The issue's decided, correct?
It was decided.
Ms. Adelson, if you look at that order that's entered by the court, besides saying it's denied, it says something pretty important, and I think the state pointed this out in its opening. It says that this denial is with prejudice
Yes, ma'am.
of the wife's petition for request to relocate with the minor children. And you're a lawyer, so you know that with prejudice means this is done. This topic in this divorce is over.
Yes, with prejudice means it's a final decision of the court.
But what it says right before that is, as such, the parties stipulate to the denial with prejudice of the wife's petition. You see that?
Yes, I do.
So what happened is after the judge says, if their toenails haven't been pulled out, I'm not thinking relocation, you actually stipulated to denial with prejudice, right?
Yes.
You did not tell your parents that you stipulated to denial with prejudice, did you?
I don't remember any conversation there, really.
So, not knowing that it was denied with prejudice, your mother thought you still had an opportunity to get it up through your final hearing, right?
I believe so.
And so she kept writing these ugly things and giving you all of these ugly suggestions, right?
She did write those emails.
If you had told her you stipulated with prejudice, that's probably not what you wanted, Mom, but that would have been the end of it, right?
I don't know. I would just be guessing.
May I approach?
You may.
Well, if you'd just be guessing, after she thought it was finally over on July the 31st, there were no more emails suggesting you do things like she suggested between the hearing date on June the 20th and the final hearing on July the 31st, did she?
Can you help me? What is the question?
So sure. So your mother doesn't know when you get out of the hearing on June the 20th that you've stipulated that this is a forever decision. So she writes these ugly emails, right?
She may not have understood that it was a final decision of the court.
It was a decision of the court because you stipulated to it, Ms. Adelson, didn't you?
I did stipulate to
And
it.
she didn't know it. She thought you had up until the final hearing. So she's marching along trying to come up with more suggestions of how you can pressure Danny and get him to agree for you to relocate, even though you know it's dead, right?
I knew that it was a final decision.
And after July the 31st, when she thought it was a final decision, she wrote no more emails suggesting you do these crazy things to still try and get relocation, did she?
I don't remember the dates of the email, but
And you
I'm guessing
testified
no.
when you got up, when the state was asking you questions, after you said your mother hated Danny at the time that he was killed, which you've clarified now that she was mad at him, not that she hated him. You testified you hated him at the time he was killed, right?
I don't remember testifying to that.
Well, then we'll need to take a break, Judge. May
Do you have
we
any
approach?
Questions for the witness?
I do. May we approach?
Please approach. The bailiff will take you to the jury room. Everyone can be seated. I believe the defense is talking to their client, but then we'll go into recess in just a moment.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have in my notes some references too, but yeah. Mr. Zellman, Ms. Fulford, as to this issue, are you seeking for the court reporter to review something, or do you wish for me to instruct the jurors to rely on their memories?
I think we have an alternative resolution. If we may just have 1 more minute, please.
Go ahead.
Just doing a drive-by on me.
Permission to keep it safe. We're going to take a 10-minute break at 3:40. We will resume after the jurors have used the restroom and everyone is ready. Mrs. Adelson, if you need to use the restroom, this is your opportunity as well. seated. You come back to the witness stand. Are the jurors ready at this point?
They're lining up.
Yes, you can be seated. They're still over there, but you can bring them in.
All right, you're entering the courtroom.
You may be seated. You may continue with your cross-examination, Ms. Fulford.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Adelson, isn't it true that before getting married to Mr. Markell in, was it 2006?
2006, we got married.
Isn't it true that you've stated that you knew on your fancy wedding day, when you were all dolled up and feeling like you were an actor in someone else's show, you knew it on your honeymoon when you were enjoying the vacation but not thrilled to be there with him, you said, "I'm not sure I liked him, let alone loved him, but I was eager to start a life with someone and he wanted to do it with me." You recall saying that?
I don't recall saying that, no.
I have placed in front of you what's been previously marked as Defendant's Exhibit 1B for identification purposes. It's towards the bottom of page 3.
I see that I said that in 2013.
Ms. Adelson, you would agree that when Danny Markell was murdered on June the 18th of 2014, your little boys lost their father for the rest of their life?
On the day that he was murdered was July 18th, and yes, my boys lost their father.
They're growing up as 11 years have passed without his influence in their life in any way. Isn't that correct?
I wouldn't say without his influence in any way, but yes, they've grown up without their father.
He's not here to give them advice.
He is not.
He can't come to any of their functions, sports, anything else.
Correct.
They're not eating kosher like they would have with their father.
They are not.
They don't have him at all.
They don't have him in their lives day to day, no.
Because on July the 18th of 2014, he was brutally murdered in his driveway. Isn't that true?
That is true.
And you testified on direct that anybody in your family that had anything to do with it should be held responsible. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And that includes you, doesn't it?
Anyone who's responsible.
Redirect examination.
When you said you were an actor in someone else's show, whose show was it?
I think I felt like I just wasn't fully present in my own life, that I had always been a real people pleaser. And so there was an aspect of not always being true to myself and wanting to make other people happy.
And one of those people is your mom, right?
Yes.
And that's part of why you kept going with relocation, even when you kind of had some doubts about it, right?
I would say it's part of the reason.
You were asked on cross-examination about the final order on relocation issued June 20th, 2013, and didn't you stipulate to making it with prejudice, I guess? Do you remember doing that?
I don't actually remember stipulating. I mean, I see it in the order, but I don't remember actively saying anything or participating in a stipulation.
In fact, when you testified about this previously, didn't you indicate you didn't know what with prejudice meant?
I think it's not something that comes up in my daily practice, and so at the time I had forgotten that it meant that it was a final order.
All right, and it was suggested or said on cross that you didn't tell your mom it was final and she was misled and she thought there was still room for it, right?
That is what was said to me on cross.
I'm going to approach and show you what I've marked as 64JJ. Just take a moment to review this exhibit and let me know when you're done.
Okay. Okay.
Do you recognize that email?
I mean, I recognize the email address. Is that what you mean?
Yes, ma'am. Who's
Yes.
the email from?
The email is from my mom and dad's email address to a friend of theirs.
Who's the friend?
The Kliegermans. I think it's Vicky, the woman in the relationship.
Okay, and it's signed Love Donna, right?
Yes, sorry. So it's from my mom.
And in this email, does she indicate to the Klingermans that there is no chance at the appellate level for appeal of your relocation?
Yes, that's what the email says.
All right, and is that email dated 6/25 of 13?
Yes.
So 5 days after the order was issued, your mom did know that that order was final, based
That's-
on this.
Based on that email, yes.
Okay, it was, you were asked questions about, your mom never suggested any harm to Dan Markell to you, but she did want to bribe him, yes?
Yes.
Take control from him, weren't those her words?
Yes.
Aggravate him,
Yes.
scare him.
I don't remember scare him, but I believe that was part of it.
Give him some grief.
Yes.
Take something from him.
Yes.
Show that fucker what would make him absolutely miserable.
Yes.
But definitely not kill him, right?
I don't know what the question is.
Donna was caring and devoted to your boys. You were asked about that. That's true, right?
Yes.
In fact, she maybe cared a little too much about your life and you and what was going on with you sometimes, right?
I don't know that you can care too much.
Even the Nazi uniform craziness came from her version of some kind of place of love. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Because although her lawyers tried to downplay this, she was suggesting a baptism for these kids, right?
Yes.
She said she looked into it and could get it done in 2 weeks, right?
I believe that's what it said.
And didn't she justify the means or claim that this would be harmless to your children because it was just like playing dress up to them, right?
Yes.
Just like Jake the Pirates.
Yes.
She thought the ends, relocation, would justify the means, didn't she?
Yes.
And she thought a move to South Florida was what was best for you
Yes.
and what was best for your children,
Yes.
who she cared about more than anyone in the world.
I mean, I don't know who she cared about most in the world, but she loves me.
Is there anyone that she cares about more than those two boys?
My dad.
Okay. She thought relocation was best for those boys. They were
Yes.
going to have better opportunities, right?
Yes.
Better family support,
Yes.
a happier mother
Yes.
with a more lucrative profession.
Yes.
And your lives all depended on it. Isn't that what she said?
Yes.
And Dan Markell could have agreed, couldn't he?
He was amenable, but then he didn't want to, ultimately.
Well, he could have moved to South Florida, right? Isn't that what you were asked on cross?
Yes, he could have.
Could have moved to South Florida and enjoyed all that delicious kosher food down there, right?
Yes.
And if he had relented, you and he could have had separate lives in Miami and happily co-parented the boys, right?
In
That
theory,
could have happened.
Yes, it could have.
Except he wouldn't relent, would he?
I mean, he said no, and so we had a hearing, and the judge said no.
Right. He wouldn't relent. He wouldn't give your mom what she wanted, would he?
I mean, we only had one conversation about it, so it wasn't like a ongoing thing.
It wasn't an ongoing thing? What wasn't?
I mean, between Danny and I, we talked about relocation. He said he would think about it, and then he said he didn't want to. And then we had the hearing, and then that was the end of it for me.
Yes, but you were asked on cross, wouldn't things have been potentially great for Danny down there too?
Yes, I think they would have.
Couldn't we all have lived happily ever after if he would have agreed to move down there too? Possibly, right?
Possibly.
But he wouldn't agree.
He didn't agree, no.
Nothing further.
Jury, before we continue this afternoon, we will take a brief break. The bailiff will take you back to the jury room. seated.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes, go ahead.
there will not be a need for a proffer.
Very well. With there being no need for a proffer from this witness, you may step down. Ms. Kappelman, will you be recalling her at any point under your subpoena?
I don't intend to, Judge, but I would ask that she remain under the rule at this time. She's
Very
free to
well.
go about her business.
You are not to discuss your testimony with any other person that will be testifying in this trial. Mr. Lauro, will you need to be heard any further, sir?
No, you're right.
Have a good day. The state's next witness will be whom this afternoon?
Robert Adelson.
All right, you can bring the jurors back in.
And Judge, I think, did you want to instruct him?
Oh, yes.
First? Okay, so could I go ahead and call him in?
One moment, don't bring the jurors in
Yes, sir.
just yet. You can bring in Mr. Adelson. Everyone can be seated. Mr. Adelson, before you testify this afternoon, I just wanted to make sure the court's prior ruling on this matter you understood and you were clear on. When you're testifying, you are not to testify about any opinions that you have concerning whether your family members or your mother may have committed a crime. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Does the defense or state wish for there to be any further instruction from the court that does not otherwise cover the substance of the ruling?
No, sir. No, sir.
Please bring in the jurors. Yep. That's fine. For everyone in the gallery, again, as you are watching the evidence and testimony, please remain quiet. If you need to speak with each other, please do so silently or step out in the hallway. There should not be any murmuring happening whatsoever as the witnesses are testifying. Please bring them in.
Jury entering courtroom.
Mr. Adelson remains standing. Everyone else can be seated. Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
I swear.
You may take your seat. Please speak loudly and clearly. You can adjust the microphone as need be. Ms. Dugan, you may examine.
Thank you. Could you tell us your name and spell your name for our court reporter, please?
Sure. Robert Todd Adelson, Adelson.
Thank you. And what state do you currently live in?
New York.
And how long have you lived in New York?
13 years.
Okay, so since maybe 2012?
Yes.
All right. What do you do for a living in New York?
I'm an ENT.
Okay, so ear, nose, and throat doctor?
Yes.
And how long have you worked as an ENT?
For 20 years.
How do you know the defendant in this case, Donna Adelson?
She's my mother.
And Harvey Adelson's your dad?
Yes.
Wendi and Charlie Adelson are your siblings?
Yes.
Okay. And where did you grow up?
In Coral Springs, Florida.
Is that a bit north of Miami?
Yep.
About how long of a drive?
About an hour north of Miami.
Okay. When y'all were growing up, did you all, the five of you, live in the same house as a family?
Yes.
And who's the oldest child?
I am.
Okay. Who's the middle child?
Charlie.
How many years between you and Charlie?
3 years between Charlie and I.
And then who's the youngest then is Wendi?
Yes.
And how many years between Charlie and Wendi?
3 years.
Okay.
When you were 18, did you move out of the Coral Springs house?
Yes, when I went to college.
Okay. And did you go to college at University of Florida?
I went to Tulane.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Did you live in Gainesville at some point?
I did, yes.
Okay, thank you. So after you went to college at Tulane and then went on to med school, went on to residency, throughout those years, did you continue to talk to your parents and your siblings on a regular basis?
Yes.
And would you see them a couple of times a year?
Yes.
When you were in school, would you go home for the summer?
Yes.
Based on your personal observations throughout your life of your parents and of your siblings, who is the leader in the family? Who tends to run the show?
I think my mom.
Okay, so Donna Adelson?
Yes.
Would you describe Donna Adelson's personality as being more controlling or more laid back?
I think more on the controlling side.
What about, is she kind of a more assertive person or a more passive person?
More assertive.
What about your dad, Harvey Adelson? What's his personality like?
I think he's more passive, more go with the flow.
Okay. So they're kind of opposites in that way a bit?
Yeah.
When you and your siblings were growing up, was Donna Adelson a very involved parent?
Yes.
And when I say involved, as far as with your life and with your friends and with school and with that type of thing?
Absolutely.
Did she have certain fixed ideas throughout your life of certain things she wanted to happen in you and your siblings' life?
Yes, absolutely.
Was it acceptable if you decided to not do those certain certain things that she was fixated she wanted you to do? Was that acceptable to her or no?
No. I think she had certain sort of rigid, fixed ideas or impressions for what she wanted for us, and if you went along with that, things were fine. If you didn't, things were not fine.
Did she have strong opinions about who you all married and what you all did for a living and those types of things?
Yes.
And you're obviously a doctor. Was that an acceptable profession to her?
Yeah, that was okay.
Okay. And was that one of the reasons you became a doctor?
Yes.
Okay. How involved was Donna in yours, Charlie, and Wendi Adelson's life after you grew up, became adults, and had kids of your own?
I think still involved.
Was she more involved with your life, Charlie's life, or Wendy's life, would you say?
Probably more involved with Wendi and probably to a lesser degree with Charlie.
Okay. And then would you be she's the least involved with your life out of the three?
Yeah, probably because I was older, but sure, I agree.
Okay, so you're the oldest child. You're out of the house before the other two?
Yep.
Okay, and then you also lived other places after you went to college throughout the rest of your life?
Yes.
Now, was this like a healthy level of involvement that she had with the three of your lives, or was it more of like a micromanaging as you saw it?
I think it was certainly between over-involved and controlling. It probably lended itself more toward controlling, but there's in various realms, more or less. But I think certainly that was a tension.
Okay, so a little more on the controlling side.
Yes.
And does that include your personal lives as far as your relationships and in your professions, your jobs?
Yes.
Was it Charlie who always needed more attention than the other two children?
I think so, yes.
When did Wendy's life start becoming one that she needed to pay or give more attention to?
I think when she had some troubles in her marriage, I wasn't aware there were any troubles in her marriage until Wendi left. But I think around that time when she had two young children, I think that was when she became more involved. And I was, at that point living, a pretty good distance away.
Okay. Were you living in Philadelphia at the time?
Yeah, but first in Philly and then in New York, where we live now.
Okay. And so Charlie always got a lot of attention, and then Donna also started giving her attention also to Wendy's life once Wendi starts going through the separation or divorce.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. From your interactions with Donna Adelson through your whole life growing up and even as an adult, would you describe her as someone who's mentally sharp, thinking about things from all angles, or is she someone who's a little more gullible?
Judge, there was a pre-trial ruling on this issue?
Yes, sir.
Objection is sustained. You may continue with your examination.
Were Charlie and Donna Adelson dependent on each other or pretty independent from each other?
I would say Charlie was probably somewhat dependent on my mom to help him out with organizing stuff, his dental practice. I think he probably relied on her a lot.
Okay. And you mentioned the dental practice. When you were growing up, who owned the dental practice?
My dad.
Okay. And throughout your life, was Donna Adelson in charge of the money at Adelson Institute?
I wouldn't know the inside workings of it, but I always remember my mom like signing the checks and writing the checkbook at the table, like when I was back in middle school or high school. So.
Okay. So even back then, she would do some bookkeeping or payroll type things at home.
That's my memory of it.
Okay. And then, did the dental practice? You said it obviously started out at Harvey's. Do you remember a time when Charlie Adelson took over?
I remember my dad making a joke about him having a very understanding boss because Charlie was now his boss. So.
Do not testify to what others have stated out of court. You may testify as to your knowledge, but not what someone else specifically said. The objection is sustained. You may continue.
I understand you were telling us how you remember that, but can you just tell us around what year do you remember that happening?
Around 2012, Charlie purchased the practice.
Okay, and then was there a time that you remember Charlie somehow selling it back to Harvey Adelson as then becoming the head of the practice again?
I will permit you to answer the question if you have knowledge of this matter.
My memory of that was sometime in like fall to winter of 2015 to 16, somewhere right around there. That's my memory.
Okay, so fall to winter of 2015.
Turning into 2016.
2016.
That's my memory.
Okay. Now, you mentioned Donna Adelson doing payroll at Adelson Institute throughout your life. If someone were to ask Donna Adelson, or if someone asked Donna Adelson to do something, is she the type of person that just snaps to it, or does she have some questions first?
Overall, this is not going to motion. You may answer the question.
No, I don't think she would just snap to and do what someone told her to.
Okay. Is she the type of person who's going to have some questions if you ask her to do something?
I think she would definitely have some questions.
Okay. How did Donna Adelson feel about Dan Markell when he and Wendi first got together and were headed towards marriage?
He was very positive about him.
Okay, so he was somebody she approved of.
Yes.
All right, and how did that change as Wendi and Danny's relationship soured? They ended up moving towards divorce.
So I really only heard anything bad about Danny after Wendi moved out. I didn't hear anything bad about him prior to that date.
Okay, so just kind of went from everything's fine to then hearing bad things about him.
Yes.
And when you say hearing bad things about him, like from her? From Donna Adelson, I'm
yes.
sorry? Okay. And how did Donna Adelson feel about Dan Markell in 2014?
I mean, she hated him.
Would this come from, your knowledge of that come from things that she would say to you?
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Did you observe that Wendi played a bit of a damsel in distress, in your opinion, in the divorce?
Yes, I think that's a good way to describe it.
Did Donna Adelson ever talk to you about Wendi Adelson and Dan Markell's divorce?
I apologize. Did Donna Adelson? I apologize. Can I hear the question again?
Did Donna Adelson ever talk to you about Wendi and Dan Markell's divorce?
Some. I mean, the phrase that sticks in my head is that Danny was depoting Wendi to death. I wasn't involved with all the various motions. I remember that phrase. I remember there being a lot of court motions back and forth. But I remember that phrase. I remember some complaints about like very long either mediation or depositions that Wendi had to endure.
Okay, so this is Donna saying Wendy's having to go through these things.
Yes.
Okay, and just telling you about it.
Yes.
how did Donna tell you that, or did she tell you that how Wendi was planning to leave Dan Markell and give him the news that she was leaving the marriage?
I think you're going to need to rephrase this in such a way the witness can answer, Ms. Dugan.
How did Donna Adelson describe to you how Wendi Adelson left the marriage?
Object to hearsay.
Ms. Dugan, please approach.
Okay.
You may continue with your examination.
What did Donna Adelson tell you about the plan for Wendi Adelson to leave the marriage?
Sure. When she told me that when that she had been in Tallahassee for several months.
This is Donna Adelson had
Yes.
been?
That she had been in Tallahassee for several months, renting a new place for Wendi, arranging for movers, moving money around, and getting things set up. I only knew this after Wendi had moved out, but she was relating to me what had occurred over the summer. And so I heard this all at once, but probably 5-6 days after Wendi had moved out, and then told me that the somewhat gleefully or pleased that they timed the phone call to Danny right before he was supposed to give a speech at the meeting he was at.
Okay. So a couple questions about that. You said Donna said that she had been up here in Tallahassee moving money around and getting things ready for Wendi. Do you mean for when Wendi moved out and needed a place of her own?
Yes.
Okay. And what did Donna tell you that she did to try to, hide the fact that they were renting a place for Wendi?
I remember her saying she had used her maiden name, so there wouldn't be an Adelson up here renting, or hiring movers or such.
Just so like word of mouth wouldn't get around that Wendi Adelson was renting an apartment, something like that.
Sure.
Okay. So they used Donna's maiden name.
Yes.
Donna did. And then you said that their plan was for Wendi to call Dan Markell as he was getting on stage, or right before he got on stage, to give a speech at a conference.
That's what I was told.
Okay. And what was Donna's demeanor when she was describing this plan to you, about how she was able to set up this place for Wendi to live in, everything was ready for her, and then this is how she gave Dan the news?
I think she sounded.
Donna is the one that gave the news? If not, then we
I
object.
believe the question was, what was her demeanor? You may
Yes, sir.
answer the question.
She sounded pleased to me.
Did you ever see Donna Adelson doing anything to help Wendi Adelson with the divorce?
I think she was, answering a lot of emails and looking over, emails that went back and forth, looking over motions and such.
Did you personally see that when she was visiting you? Did you see Donna Adelson doing those things?
Yes.
Okay. Was there an occasion when you all were in the hospital and Donna came to visit and was doing those things in the hospital?
I think it was at our home at the time, right before he went to the hospital. But yes, that's where we, saw the email.
Okay. And while she was at your house during that time, was that when you were living in Philadelphia?
That was in Albany.
Albany, okay. Did she want the Wi-Fi at that time so that she could get on the internet and work on these filings?
Yeah, she said she had things to do to help out with the divorce.
What date would that have been? Do you remember?
October of 12.
Did Donna Adelson tell you that Wendi Adelson was trying to get permission to relocate to Miami?
Yes.
And did Donna Adelson tell you about the $1 million bribe she wanted to offer Dan Markell?
Yes.
During the year or two after Wendi Adelson left Dan Markell, how much time was Donna Adelson spending in Tallahassee?
From
He had personal knowledge of her being here.
You may answer as to your personal knowledge on the subject matter.
I can rephrase, Judge. Did Donna Adelson tell you information about how much time she was having to spend in Tallahassee?
She said that Wendi needed a lot of help because now she has 2 boys on her own, and so she was up there a lot. And I think yes.
Okay. Who cared more about Wendi Adelson's divorce from your conversations? Was it Donna or Charlie?
Donna.
What types of things does Charlie care about? What are kinds of things is he really into?
I mean, like go-karts, jet skis, going out, boats. Not Wendy's divorce.
Okay. And is Donna Adelson very into her kids and grandkids and
Yes.
their success?
Yes.
Do you think Wendy's divorce or her moving, I guess, do you think Wendi and her boys moving to Miami was particularly important to Charlie Adelson from your observations?
I don't think so.
During the divorce, from your conversations with Donna, was she fixated on Wendi taking this job with a guy named Gary Cohen in Miami?
Yes, that was a common discussion point.
Okay. Did she seem like it was just something that she kind of thought would be a good idea, or something that she seemed to have a real obsession with?
It came up a lot in my discussions with her about this job with Gary, where she'd be making $1 million a year and she'd be a partner, and it was something that was brought up a lot, that she'd be able to take care of her kids in a way that she couldn't up in Tallahassee, and then it was probably the one thing that she mentioned to me. The only time I heard any anger after the murder had occurred was that I asked, is Wendi going to go work for Gary now? And she told me that.
Did the job end up not working out?
As far as I know, it didn't.
Okay, and that you heard some anger from Donna when that happened?
She said that his partners wouldn't let them hire her until
Well,
they.
Okay.
Sorry.
But there was some anger there because the job didn't end up working out.
Yes,
They couldn't hire Wendi or didn't want to hire Wendi after all.
that's what I was told.
Okay, thank you. Now, during the summer of 2014, did Wendi Adelson, I'm going to move on to 2014 now, did Wendi Adelson send you a text where she referenced having a boyfriend?
Yes,
And was this before Dan Markel's murder?
yes.
Why was that memorable to you?
It was just unusual, Wendi, never was someone who would, share her, romantic life or boyfriends or, tell me or, text me about anyone she was dating. So it just stood out as, unique or different.
Okay. What did she, was there something in particular that she said that struck you as also unusual?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
Okay. I guess, was it your impression that your parents knew about this boyfriend at the time or no?
No, the text said, don't tell the parents.
Well,
Sustained. Members of the jury, you are to disregard the last response of the witness.
may I approach, Judge?
You may. You may continue your examination, Ms. Dugan.
Okay, so I was asking you about this text that you received from Wendi Adelson. Can you tell me about this text?
Sure. She texted me that she was going to Gainesville for the weekend, and this was 2014. So I last lived in Gainesville about 3 years prior to that. Mentioned that she wanted. I mentioned the name of Jeff. I asked who was Jeff. The response was my boyfriend. I responded I didn't know, and she said you wouldn't. I didn't hear it from the parents. She says they don't know. And so it just struck me as, and then she sent me some pictures of Jeff with her and the boys. It struck me as unique because she'd never shared the name or photograph of a boyfriend before.
Okay, so,
Court continues to the members
Yes.
of the jury. As to the last question and response, you are not to consider the hearsay statement for the truth of the matter asserted. You may continue.
okay. So it was unusual for her to talk to you about boyfriends at all?
Yes,
But you also felt it was unusual that she's telling you about this boyfriend when even your parents don't know about him yet.
right,
And she was closer to her parents at the time than you.
correct.
Okay, what date was that text message sent?
The very end of June, like 26 or 28 of 14, but that last weekend.
Okay, so it was prior to 4th of July weekend.
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember where in those photographs Wendi is with her sons and Jeff?
Like Wakulla Springs, something like that.
Okay.
And they were in front of a board that said that.
And did you let her know you wouldn't mention him to her parents or to your parents?
Yes.
Did that strike you as so unusual that after Dan Markell was murdered, you felt, I guess, compelled to tell police, like, hey, I heard she has this boyfriend she hasn't told anybody about named Jeff?
Yes, I did. The FBI came to my house and I spoke to them once, and either it didn't come up or, it's a bit nerve-wracking talking to the FBI, and that they didn't ask any questions about that. And then, I guess over the ensuing week, I'd heard about like this Prius and this this unsolved murder. And I remembered, it struck me as odd that I was sent these photographs of a boyfriend and not to tell the parents about him. And so that's when I wanted to have a clean conscience. So I reached out to the FBI and I said, I don't know if this matters, but I figured I would, tell you about this. And they came back for a second interview and looked at the pictures.
Okay. When is your father, Harvey Adelson's birthday?
July 5.
Okay, so on July 5th of 2014, how old would he have turned that year?
70.
Okay, and this is about 2 to 3 weeks before Dan Markell was killed?
Yes.
Did your family do anything to celebrate his birthday that year?
Yes, we had a party at their condo.
Okay,
in
was
Miami.
there a gift from the family or from any of you to him?
No. I remember an email, and my dad is not someone who wants gifts or a big deal made about him, and so the email was something like, your dad doesn't want gifts; he just wants all of his kids to be with him on his birthday.
And was that from Donna Adelson?
Yes.
So she's basically just letting know you and your kids coming is going to be his gift.
Correct.
And everybody, all the kids and grandkids being
Correct.
there. Okay. Did the family ever discuss going on a cruise?
No, not with me.
When a birthday gift is given for somebody in the family, does Donna Adelson typically say, we're going to get him this, everybody owes this much, everybody's going to pay a third, or whatever it is?
Yeah, if there was like a big gift we're getting, or they said, we're getting this for someone, and you can be part of it, that was not uncommon.
Okay. So tell us at the party, about the party. You said it was at the Continuum?
Yes, at their apartment.
Okay. So is that like a condo building in Miami?
Yeah, on Miami Beach.
Okay. On Miami Beach, like South Beach?
Yeah.
Okay. And is it a secure building?
It's very secure. It was, we were staying at a hotel down the street, and there was armed guards, and it was apparently there's a lot of celebrities that live there. It was a very high, very secure building.
Okay. And these celebrities that live there, were they people that you knew of? I mean, you knew who they were?
Sure. Yeah, A-Rod.
Did these people have kind of guards of their own too in the building?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So the guards that you saw were the guards in the front?
Yes.
All right. Had your parents, how recently had they moved to the Continuum?
I got the idea, it was certainly less than a year. I don't remember exactly, but it seemed like they said they were going to try living down in South Beach to see if they liked it for their retirement. And so it had to be sometime, before, because they were pretty well moved in there. But I don't remember the exact time, but if I'm guessing, like maybe 6 months before or something like that.
Okay, so by the weekend of the party, July 5th, are they like fully moved into their
Yeah.
condo there?
Yes.
Okay, and are they living there full time? From what you know?
It seemed like that, but I couldn't. I know they still own the house in Coral Springs, so I don't know if they were just there on the weekends, but I couldn't say definitively. But it looked like they were living there fully.
Okay. Was his party on his actual birthday or another day of the week?
No, on his actual birthday.
All right. Was your brother Charlie there that weekend?
Yes.
Wendi and her sons, were they there?
Yes.
Was the party catered?
Yeah, there was, yes.
What type of food did you have?
There were like past hors d'oeuvres, and then there was a paella chef on the balcony.
Okay. Was the party a surprise for Harvey?
No.
So you were never told, don't tell him about it, it's a surprise,
No.
anything like that? Don't tell him. Were you not supposed to tell him anything about the party that was a surprise?
No, there was nothing about a surprise birthday.
Was there ever a time in the weeks leading up to the party that you heard that the party may be canceled for any reason?
No. Never.
All right, so how did you first hear about Dan Markel's murder?
I heard the day after the shooting occurred, so that would be Saturday, July 19. I was at a meeting in Chicago, and I think I got a phone call first, and that I was in a meeting, and so I just said, can I call you later? And then I got a text message shortly thereafter, like right before 10 in the morning, that said, like, tragedy here, please call.
And are these from Donna Adelson?
Yes.
Okay. So were you able to call her that morning from the conference in Chicago?
Yeah, so I walked out and went to the hotel lobby and just hit call.
Okay, and tell us about that conversation with her.
So it's one of those moments that you'll just remember forever. So I remember being in the lobby of the Westin, and I assumed something terrible had happened, and but I wasn't ready for it. She said, so we just want to let you know that Danny's been shot, and they took him to the hospital, but he didn't make it. And it didn't make any sense. And I probably asked like a few medical questions, and they said they're driving up to go help Wendi, and we'll talk to you later. We can't talk now.
Okay. Was she crying in that conversation?
Not
Donna
in that
Adelson?
conversation.
Sir?
No, she was not.
Okay.
It was very matter of fact.
Did she ever give you any further detail that weekend about how he'd been shot, or other than just Danny was shot and he didn't make it?
I think it was the next day. So the only really other time that I spoke with him that weekend, I was in the airport going home, like Sunday afternoon. So it was definitely the next day, and it was the first time I could actually have any kind of conversation. And one of the things that she told me is, it bothered me, but I didn't have any other details about. But she said that, someone went to the front door and said, "Are you Dan Markel?" and then shot him. And then I said, "Well, how could you know that? Who's telling you that?" And she said, "Well, that's just what they're telling us." And
Okay. So she said someone told her that someone knocked on Danny's door, said, "Are you Dan Markel?" He said yes, and the shooter shot him.
That's the story I heard. And, later we found out that wasn't what happened, but that story bothered me a lot because there's only one way you could hear that story.
Was she crying when she told you that information?
No.
You mentioned earlier that law enforcement contacted you after Dan Markel's murder. Did they contact you to try to see if you knew any information?
Yeah, they came to our house. I was already at work, and so they talked to my wife. It had to be a Wednesday or Thursday, so I was already at work.
And is this your house in New York?
Yes.
Okay. And did you end up talking to law enforcement and letting them, answering their questions, letting them know what you knew?
Yeah, they came to my office the next day, and we with two agents, and we had we had an interview.
Okay. After that conversation with, you said it was the FBI earlier, right?
Yes.
Okay. After that conversation with the FBI, did Donna Adelson ever say anything to you about having talked to law enforcement or the FBI?
It was either that afternoon or the next day, but and she had called me and said, just want to let you know, if the police come around, don't talk to them.
Okay, so she told you not to talk to law enforcement.
Correct.
Did you let her know that you already had talked to law enforcement?
Yeah, I said I already did.
What did she say to that?
She said, "Oh, well, you don't know anything anyway."
You don't know anything anyway?
Correct.
Was that an unusual statement coming from your mother?
Yeah, it just, I mean, everything that week was unusual, but I mean, I clearly didn't know anything, but I wasn't going to not talk to the FBI if they show up at my house.
How did you respond? Let me ask you this. After the murder of Dan Markell, did Donna Adelson seem curious about who killed Dan Markell?
No.
Was there a complete lack of curiosity?
Yeah, nobody seemed curious.
Did you actually ever ask her, like after the murder, like, hey, like, what do you think happened? What do you?
Yeah, and the conversations were kind of rerouted, or that was certainly discouraged, and it was probably like maybe sometime like mid-August, when I finally had a chance to ask and say, what is going on? This was not a small event. This was getting a lot of notoriety, and I said, what do you guys think happened? And she had said, I don't know and I don't care. It doesn't concern me.
Was that out of character for her to not be curious and not be asking some questions?
Yeah, I mean, it was an unsolved murder of, my former brother-in-law, like someone that we all know very well. I mean, if it was like some neighborhood gossip, people would be interested. This was like national interest, and nobody had any curiosity about, who did this to Danny.
Is a person, you mentioned that, not only is it your brother-in-law, but it was like national news at that point as well.
Yes.
And regardless of it being national news or not, I mean, is a person dying from gun violence an extremely unusual thing to happen in your family?
Yeah, I mean, to this day, Danny's the only person that I know who's died from gun violence or been a victim of gun violence, so it's unique in that manner.
What would your mom, Donna Adelson, do if you did try to ask her any more about Danny's murder after that?
It wasn't a subject for discussion. It would be rerouted, or it was just not a subject to discuss.
When you say rerouted, do you mean like changing the subject?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fast forward to 2016. Do you remember in May of 2016 when Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera were arrested?
Yeah, I do. I saw it in the OR lounge. Someone told me about it. So it had to be like a Wednesday, and
you were in the operating room lounge.
Yeah, it was
and
the
someone
lounge.
Told you about
yes,
it.
It was someone else, because stories like this people see on Twitter or such, and I remember someone telling me did you hear about that case, because it's more than one person had followed it, and I saw it, and then. That was on the 26th, and I remember the dates because our anniversary is on the 28th of May. My wife and I were like, should we call them? Like they arrested some guy who killed Danny. And
when you say them, you mean should we call
parents.
my parents? And
yes.
Yeah, okay. So it was big news that even people you work with were seeing that there were finally some arrests made.
Right.
Okay. And that was 2 days before your anniversary, you said?
Yes.
Okay, so did you and your wife eventually talk to your parents?
We did. We thought, should we call them? And we figured, if they wanted to call us, they would call us, and then they didn't. And so we figured, well, they'll call us on our anniversary, and so we can just sit tight. And I'm sure it's pretty stressful. And this guy was arrested in Miami, and so they called us on our anniversary, which was the 28th.
Okay, so that was 2 days after the arrest, I think.
2 days after I found out. Yes.
2 days after you found out. Thank you. So on the 28th, did you talk to Donna Adelson?
Yes.
All right. And when she called you, was she telling you the good news that Danny's killers were arrested?
No, she just called us for anniversary, and wished us well, and had some small talk for a bit. I kind of let it go for a little bit, and I mean, this was not small news, and so I finally broached the topic and said, they found the guy, they arrested someone who killed Danny. There's no response, and I said it, at least 2 or 3 times that they made an arrest. They got the guy who killed Danny. Yeah, and then her response was, I've got to go.
And then did she hang up the phone after that?
Yes.
And did you ever talk to her about it again, ever after that?
No.
Just a second. Other than, her reaching out for happy birthdays, happy anniversaries, that kind of thing, was that the last conversation you had with her?
That was the last time I spoke to her.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Just a second, Your Honor. I'll say it again, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Between 2012 and 2014, how many times did you come to visit your family in South Florida?
2012 and 2014. My daughter was born in October of 2012, and so I think my dad's birthday there was a Thanksgiving, I think, in 2013. So I mean, pretty much Thanksgivings were the times when we would travel, having a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. So
Sure. Okay, so Thanksgiving of 2013 and then your dad's birthday in 2014.
yeah, there could have been one other one, but I remember those two for certain that I could swear to.
Okay, and when you came for his birthday was on the 5th. You came in on the 4th, the party was on the 5th, and you left on the 6th, correct?
That's my memory of it.
And Thanksgiving, kind of the same thing? I mean, you got a
Yeah.
job you got to get back to, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. And how frequent were the phone calls that you were having with your family?
Probably less than once a week, maybe every other week, something like that.
And when I say family, I think I'm referring to Donna.
Sure.
Okay. Now, you were here on the 5th for your dad's birthday. You said you went home on the 6th.
Yep.
And Danny Markell was brutally murdered on July the 18th of 2014. That was in the summer.
Correct.
Recall that?
Yes.
And when did you arrive in Florida to be with your family?
I didn't.
Okay, thank you. You had mentioned in your direct testimony that your mom called and said you shouldn't talk to the police. Do you recall that?
Yeah, I do, yes.
What actually happened was a family friend, Michael Weinstein, you know him, correct?
I do, yeah.
Your mom indicated that he had called and advised that as a family friend and an attorney that you all should not talk to the police. That's what she told you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't have anything further.
Redirect examination.
No, sir. Thank you.
You may step down. Does the state have a witness that will go about a half hour exactly?
One very brief witness we can do and be done for the day.
Please call your witness.
They call Bill Brennan.
Officer, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I do.
You may take your seat. Please speak loudly and clearly.
Thank you. Will you introduce yourself to the jury and spell your name for our court reporter, please?
I'm Officer Brannon, number 510 with the Taos Police Department, Brannon.
And where do you said you work at TPD. And how long have you been with TPD?
26 years, and I was with FSU PD for a couple of years prior to that.
Okay. Now, did you respond to a crime scene on Trescott Drive on July 18th of 2014?
Yes.
And what time did you arrive?
Approximately 11:15.
When you arrived, was EMS and some other TPD officers already there?
Yes.
Okay. Was your role maintaining a crime scene perimeter that day on Trescott Drive?
That was one of the roles, yes.
Tell me about that. What does maintaining a crime scene perimeter mean?
Just keeping people out, redirecting traffic.
Okay, so are you putting up crime scene tape then?
Yes.
Okay, and making sure nobody comes in or out, no cars come through?
Correct.
So where was the crime scene tape on Trescott Drive that you were located next to?
I was a little ways north of the incident location on Trescott.
Okay. I want to, and when you were next to the crime scene tape, were you seated in your marked vehicle?
Yes.
And at that time, looking south down towards the incident location, was there EMS and marked police cars there in front of the Markell residence at the time?
EMS had already left the scene by the time I was in that position, but there was investigators, other officers, and crime scene units.
Okay. And when I say marked, as in your car's marked and their cars are marked, like TPD insignia, what we would typically see as a police car?
Yes.
Okay. Did I show you before court today a map that is marked as State's Exhibit 87?
Yes.
And was that map a true and accurate depiction of where you were stationed that day and of Trescott Drive and of the Markell residence on that road?
I believe so.
Judge, at this time I'd move into evidence State's Exhibit 87.
No objection.
State's 87 is admitted.
Motion to publish?
You may.
I have this for you. You can point up there if you want to listen after this.
Okay, so looking here at this map, I'll leave that off. Is this Thomasville Road right here,
Yes.
where I'm pointing? Okay. And is this orange arrow ABC Liquors?
I believe so.
Okay. This is Benton Road.
Yep.
All right. And then is this road over here Centerville Road?
Yes.
And the hospital would be somewhere in this area.
Correct.
Okay. So this yellow line, is this yellow line Trescott Drive?
Yes, ma'am.
And does the blue arrow show where the Markel residence, 2116 Trescott Drive was?
Yes.
Can you show me where you were located next to the crime scene tape, making sure no came by the crime scene?
Approximately where the little yellow marking was right there.
Okay, right where it says roadblock
Yep.
with the arrow? Okay. Now, from where you were stationed here at the crime scene tape, could you clearly see all of the marked police cars in front of the Trescott residence?
Yes.
Okay, and your marked police car was right there where we see the arrow as well?
Correct.
All right, if I'm turning onto Trescott Drive from Centerville Road, would I be able to see any of the activity over here from here or from this area on Trescott Drive?
No, not back over there.
And is that because the road curves around or winds around?
Yes.
While you were stationed there, did any vehicles approach your location on Trescott, encounter the roadblock, and have to turn around?
Yes, several vehicles.
Okay, did you notice a particular vehicle that pulled up that you notated in your report that day because it stood out to you?
Mid 2000s maroon or dark red Honda Odyssey van.
And are you familiar with that make and model and the year of van?
Yes, my family we actually still use it. My son uses it. 2006 Honda Odyssey.
Okay, so at the time, your family owned the same van,
Correct.
okay? And you said it was maroon in color, the one you saw that day?
Yes.
At the time, did you know that the ex-wife of the person who was killed drove that type of van?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit 18. Was this vehicle consistent with the one you saw that day that turned at the roadblock?
Yes.
Were you able to see the driver of the van?
No.
About what time did the vehicle approach the roadblock?
Approximately 1 o'clock, somewhere in that range.
Okay, I think, did you say between 12 and 1 in
Somewhere in
your report?
there.
Okay. But don't know exactly the minute that it approached, okay. Was there anything unusual about the way the vehicle, or I guess the driver of the vehicle, behaved when the vehicle encountered the roadblock that stood out to you?
It wasn't fast or anything, but it was just a little more deliberate and pulling up, turning around, and leaving. The other vehicles, which is consistent with other times I've had to block roads, when vehicles pull up, they kind of stop and they're processing like, well, I can't go this way, and trying to think, well, where do I got to go now, etc. So this one didn't squeal tires or anything like that, but I mean, it was boom, 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 and out.
So just less hesitation.
Correct.
Did the driver of the vehicle ask you any questions?
No.
Did the driver of the vehicle question anybody else, any other officers there at the roadblock?
Not where I was.
They just
No.
turned around and went back towards Centerville?
Yes, ma'am.
That's all. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
No questions, Judge.
Officer, you may step down. Is the officer released or will he be recalled?
Sir,
Is the officer released or will he be recalled?
he is released. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thanks, sir.
Members of the jury, we are going to come to a rest for this evening. Once again, I'm going to remind you, do not discuss this case with each other or anyone else. Do not seek out any information or news reports about this case at all as well. Please report tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. and we intend to get started at 9 o'clock once everyone is here. Have a restful evening. We will see you in the morning. Okay. All right, brief discussion of tomorrow, the witnesses that were supposed to be the PM, are they now going to be our AM witnesses state for tomorrow morning?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very well. Parties need to be heard before we go into recess.
Nothing from the state, Judge. No, Judge.
There was one thing,
Go ahead.
can we approach about it though?
Yes.